Details of that. Also, food security under threat in the Kwabre South district of the Ashanti region as cocoa farms are...
The farm. They cut down the foodstuff and excavate the sand.
We'll hear from the problem if it fails to brief its members on how many votes John Mahama obtained in the 2020 elections from its own coalition.
The people shall to who? You go back that in this region we got this, in this region we got it. You put all that together. We are running into a credibility.
That the EC doctored results summary sheets in sports.
FIFA has taken a stance on the formation of the European Super League.
As awaiting an appeal for her case, will break down the 13 reasons behind her sentencing.
The intrinsic seriousness.
Stay with us for details on showbiz coming up later in the bulletin. Plus more with me and fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, it is official. The Electricity Company of Ghana is set to release a doomsday timetable as it has become necessary due to the ongoing works on the Pokwase bulk supply point. Gridco had earlier warned of imminent power cuts upon request by contractors of the Pokwase bulk supply point led by the Energy Minister.
We are coming out of a plan schedule, and we schedule in such a way that no single customer will see the outage throughout. For the 8 days, you will see that it doesn't affect customer throughout. So that's our plan to the national grid, so that we can use our part of the control system to supply power to our customers.
Which areas will be affected?
Of May till 17th of May. That's where the ECG will start loading our feeder.
Well, meanwhile, CEO of Gridco, Jonathan Amwakuba, has been...
May not have recognized that there is a fault. That is only when there will be human intervention. These things have been set automatically so that when they see the problem, they have to take, as you said, the machine, which is a transformer. It costs not less than $2 million. And if it gets damaged, it will take 1 year minimum to go and manufacture and bring a new one. There is a problem, and the problem is being attended to. That is why it has been taken off, and it is not a human intervention. Most of the time it is.
That's the CEO of Gridco, Jonathan Amwakuba, making an announcement during a tour embarked upon by the Energy Minister of the Pokwase bulk supply point. My colleague Manuel Kranting is part of that.
So, MFR, what we are learning is that in the next couple of days, we're going to see the announcement of this particular timetable. We are learning also of some ongoing talks between ECG and all the bulk supply projects. And so that agreement will be made, and then in the next couple of days, we are going to hear the announcement of the timetable as to where in Achimota and some other parts of the Greater Accra region. And emphasis has been made on the fact that this is not going to be a nationwide, sort of...
The Pokwase substation?
Well, we know that the project is scheduled to be completed on 31st May 20. Development. We may or may not see any other requests for power outages.
But I'm curious though, what exactly was the explanation that was given for the...
For the Gridco boss explained the ongoing works on the Pokwase substation and also the Kaswa substation are being controlled by the contractors on site, power substation. That is when they request. And so, like the last afternoon, it is now that that request has been made. And based on the request that has been made...
During that tour embarked on by the Energy Minister.
Yeah, so the Energy Minister indeed has been calling on Ghanaians to bear with the situation. And he made the point that we can make it better and more reliable. That is the explanation he's been giving. And assurances that when these works are completed, Ghanaians can now depend on...
Doomsday timetable will be released soon, and it's going to be affecting us from May 10 to May 17. More of that on myjoyonline.com. I'll take you to the Ashanti region now, where cocoa farmers in the Kwabre South district are losing their farmlands to inundation of their farms, threaten sustainable production and livelihoods. They are calling for immediate government intervention. And Ojima visited the area. Here's his report.
Operate day and night with the support of some community leaders. The activity happens in the middle of farms. Emmanuel Edu was hinted his farm.
They cut down half of the cocoa trees on my land and buried them.
Another farmer, Kofi Seche, had his palm plantation destroyed last year. he was saddled with debt and his health of Odumechi DA School. Excavated pits are left uncovered and the school is exposed to assess farmers and affected communities. Some affected farmers want authorities to act as a...
They cut down the foodstuff and excavate the sand.
And with more from what he witnessed at the site. Now, you've been to the area, and now describe to us the extent of damage done by these sand-winning activities.
Beyond the distraction to excavate this sand are left uncovered, posing threats to lives, especially those of kids who are the sand in these areas. So lives are threatened, especially those of these school children who have their school in the middle of this area.
Okay, so
then Aduboku tells me they're investigating the matter and in due time they will take the necessary action. What he also says is that his investigation has shown that these people have no lines.
In this case, nothing of that nature was done. The DISEC has invited them. I will get to the bottom of the case. Is given to the case.
Naza Kwabre South D. Dr. Benjamin Kumbo says leaders of the party must respond to calls by members for details on how many votes, this is how many votes he actually obtained as seen from his own collation. Listen to this interaction between justices of the Supreme Court and Mr. Mahama's star witness Johnson Asiedu Nketia on the NDC's collation.
In your Lord, I haven't brought that figure to court. What were the valid votes cast in favor of the petitioner? To your knowledge, I don't have them here.
Well, some members of the party have since demanded that the party releases that data. This has not been done. Member of the NDC Council of Elders, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, says the party
started seeing figures coming, springing up region by region. This is how we are performing. For the ordinary, is that those figures did not find their way to the court.
Did that surprise you?
And that is a fundamental question that is being
asked. Is it a valid question, though?
It is a valid question because if we are running into a credibility problem here, when you take all those figures and you take the figures that people are, is vertical and horizontal, that you account down to the grassroots and account across.
Accounting for what exactly?
Accounting for your stewardship. And the reason why issues of accountability is being raised, people don't know today.
You're saying even you don't know these facts that you're now asking for accountability on?
Definitely. If it has been given to some members of the council, I cannot vouch for that. My expectation was that once...
Evans Mensah on PM Express. Well, Dr. Kumbo over the weekend participated in a forum geared at discussing how to reorganize the NDC for victory.
It was an NDC forum. I don't think they were doing anything in the interest or under the sanctions of the NDC leadership. So I'm speaking to you as a Deputy General Secretary.
The party's electoral fortunes is dwindling because party executives are taking on responsibilities that are not part of their duties under the party's constitution.
People of the executives are assuming responsibilities that they don't have, assuming functions and powers in the constitution of the party. Activities as members of this party is part of their mandate.
But that's a very narrow concern, is it not? Because if it's just about whether or not you can hold permission, that's
precisely is the problem as to whether you are performing your job properly.
He also shared his views on the perception that some individuals are controlling the
party. And the question you ask is that, how industrious have these people been over a period of 4 or 5 years to be able to get those type of resources to contribute to the party? Let's take an inner look at this and do a critical. Your people were as corrupt as the people they are accusing of corruption today.
Member of the NDC's Council of Elders, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, their speaking results summary sheets by the Electoral Commission. These are documents for the Techiman South constituency where the party's parliamentary candidate is challenged used to declare the results. The party has since taken custody and alleges its analysis show altering of documents. Abraham Amaleba is...
that on the coalition sheet, Techiman South, the name on that sheet was a different constituency and they cancelled it and rather
sheets that is for a different constituency.
That is so. So we intend to cross-examine on that when the case begins. I suspect the reason why they were delaying and not going into the registrar's office was they were communicating mid with the 4:30. They would have said that, oh, we have come. you were not able to photocopy. Lights are out.
Correspondent Joseph Akable, we are yet to get a response from the Electoral Commission on this matter. We'll stay a while longer on the policy recommending punishment for individuals with presidential ambition peaking ahead of time. The party has set itself January 2024 to select a presidential. The party, John Boedu, tells Joy News these actions are affecting the smooth running of government.
If you start campaigning, if we are not mindful of these things, what it means is that for the next 3 years, government activities and we will go to our National Executive Committee. We want a very strong statement from the National Executive Committee. Beyond even that, some proposals to the National Steering Committee quickly.
Well, the NPP General Secretary also described as unfortunate on 2024.
Statement by the majority leader. I think that is unnecessary, it's uncalled for and in question. They may have assigns, they may have people who even support them without their knowledge. If you get these leaders or so-called these mushroom groupings of people who some of them can be identified as our members, some of them may not be identified.
At Elton, what have you been able to glean from these proposals that have been presented?
So, MFA, first is the timetable, and the proposal is that the party should go to Congress elections, and then the other one is for a directive to President Akufo-Addo to dismiss ministers who are peaking ahead of time, and also for ministers who are serving the government and have presidential ambitions. The caution is that you get them to stop or will come after you. So regardless of the fact that the people are saying they are doing this in your name.
We'll see how that pans out. Thank you very much, Elton. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And it's official. The Electricity Company of Ghana set to release a time as actress Equia Pimpolo languishes behind bars awaiting an appeal for her case. We'll break down the 13 reasons behind her sentencing.
For the crimes committed.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio, Keta, Volta Premier, Victory FM, Aflao. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Red Tanga, and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio 1. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Everyone in world football is taking a stance in respect of the European Super League. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has opposed the creation of the European Super League by the 12th club. UEFA President Alexander Seferin as disgraceful and a spit in the face, whilst Infantino has branded the plans.
From the very beginning, FIFA is an organization which is built on values, the institutional framework, and that FIFA we can only and strongly disapprove is a breakaway from the current institutions, from the leagues, from the associations, from UEFA.
And of fixtures involving 3 of the Super League clubs, Chelsea, Real Madrid and Manchester City, will go on as scheduled, despite threats of the clubs being suspended from the competition. Of course, you can...
Case of 2 teenagers alleged to have killed a 10-year-old boy for money rituals say they need more time to determine the actual age of the suspect. They therefore urged to remand the accused persons. Now, the teenagers have been slapped with charges including that of murder over the alleged act that has left residents of Kaswa Lamte in a state of shock. Spokesperson from the family of the murdered boy, Samed Akalilu.
Law, but we trust in the due process, we trust in the police, we trust that they're going to do a good job. But for us as a family, we felt the basic issues of ages would have been rectified by now, and issues that are going to prevent expeditious trial will be kept or will be found or solved. Then we can hit the road.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
And it's time for our Drive Safe campaign. And today, the National Road Safety Authority has asked the police to apprehend and prosecute a driver of a vehicle driving against traffic on the Gifford Road in Accra. This is coming at a time the authority is stepping up efforts to the authority indicate the vehicle is owned by Ghana Cocoa Board. Fifi Boafo, who speaks for Cocoa Board, however, says the vehicle was not being used.
Ghana Cocoa Board. So we'll contact the ministry and then we'll be able to get some answers as to who is using the vehicle and why that.
I think the time has come for us to tackle this menace on our roads, where people take the law into their own hands and drive. A total disregard for safety, a total disregard for the rules and regulations on our. And this is something that the authority takes to curb these things and stop others.
Henry Asmani is ill after being sentenced to 90 days in prison for posing nude with her 7-year-old son on social media. What are some of the reasons for the sentence?
Right, MFA. So the court has released a document listing some 13 factors considered before a custodial sentence was handed to her. And they are as follows: the intrinsic seriousness of the offences charged, the gravity of the offence charged, executed, the prevalence of the crime within the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and the country generally. The sudden incline for victims of such criminal act is almost non-existent, and they also took into consideration time of the court. There are a lot.
Okay.
You can find more on myjoyonline.com.
Of course, it's one of the top stories that people are reading. Thanks for NDC's election 2020 collated figures, excerpts of that interview on PM Express, and then also Mahama must call sycophantic campaigners to order. Myjoyonline.com. That's it for the Midday News. I am Emefa Apao. Pastor Mensa Otabil has Living Word Harvest Time, Episode 2. Do stay.
Creating more secure and